the federal bureaucracy, a big entity whose importance is yet to be determined. But for today,
these are their stories.
the federal bureaucracy is a huge entity that works directly under the executive branch. The federal bureaucracy is often considered the fourth branch of the government because of its size and influence over the other three branches. But over the lifetime of the bureaucracy, it wasn't always that big, and it wasn't always that powerful. When the federal bureaucracy first started in 1789, the President James Madison appointed 9 people to the Department of State, which was run by the Secretary of State, Thomas Jefferson. But of course, the problem arose of who could control this bureaucracy. In the Constitution, the President has the power to appoint officials. However, it does not specifically say anything about departments. This prompted serious debate because there was no explicit guideline as to how the bureaucracy should function. So as a result, the heads of every department had to be appointed by the President and removed by the President. And Congress only had the power to allocate funds to every department. So in the end, no one really got absolute power over the bureaucracy.
Now let's fast forward to today. The bureaucracy is made up of about 4.1 million people. For every one person that's directly employed, there are 3 people that are indirectly employed. So that's about 12 million people working for the bureaucracy as opposed to the estimated 2,000 people working in the other branches of government.
The size of the federal bureaucracy is largely attributed to 2 critical events. The first one being the Great Depression, where people asked the government for help, and as part of the New Deal program, many people wound up with federal jobs. This subsequently increased the federal bureaucracy, and the people directly employed by them and the people indirectly employed by them more than doubled. The next big critical change was in World War II, where the federal tax that they collected was used to create more programs that helped prepare the military for times of conflict in the future. However, after the war ended, they never decreased the funding for these programs, and so the taxes just kept building up, and they just kept increasing, becoming larger and larger, until finally they couldn't give any more tax money to those programs. But by that time, there were already so many sustained expansions of those programs that it didn't even matter anymore.
But with a government so big, how could it possibly function?
Well, you see, the bureaucracy has its own set of rules, and a good term to sum up those rules is red tape, which are complex bureaucratic rules and procedures that must be followed in order to get something done. The bureaucracy is a complex and confusing body, but most of its power depends on the extent to which appointed officials have discretionary authority. Discretionary authority is the ability to choose courses of actions and to make policies that are not spelled out in advance by laws. But after all is said and done, a few important things that you should take away from this is that the executive branch directly and indirectly employs the federal bureaucracy. The federal bureaucracy is a big entity, and it has a bunch of complex rules and regulations that it has to follow. But with all these things going on, what do people really think about the bureaucracy?
Well, that depends on who you are. Some people believe the bureaucracy is scary and intimidating. Some people think the decisions they make about as much sense as this picture. Others may agree that they have too many complicated rules and regulations. On the other hand, jobs in the bureaucracy are generally easier and don't require too much work, and they are well paid. An iron triangle is an alliance of people from 3 groups: a congressional subcommittee that deals with an issue, the executive agency that enforces laws on that issue, and private interest groups. Often members of that triangle know each other well, and people frequently move from one corner of the triangle to another. The members of the Iron Triangle work together to create policy that serves their interests.
So, just to recap, the bureaucracy is larger than it's ever been today. And when it first started out, it had less than 10 people.
The bureaucracy is very complex, and not a lot of people like it. But then again, a lot of people don't like your face.
Bureaucracy uses relationships and influences to get policies passed and budgets approved.
But all in all, they are parts of the bureaucracy that help our nation flourish and become better as a country. Oh, it's coming.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob. See all these colleges?
Yeah, I see.
Which college are you going to?
That one. Hey, Bob. Do it for the vine.
I ain't gonna do it.
Do it for the vine.
I'm not gonna do it.
Huh, do it for the vine.
I'm really not about to do it, Bob.
Bob, do it for the vine.
I'm not gonna do it.
Son, you ain't gonna do it for the vine, Bob.
Somebody go to this bathroom, Bob. I'm not about to do it.
Do it for the vine.
Leave me alone. Introducing the most flat out sir in the world.
Could have been a dancer.
Could have been a dancer.
I chose not to be.
Bum bum.